I represent in Eastern Washington. Thank you for being here and your work. I yield back.
Now recognize Ms. Thank you for yielding back. Now recognize Ms. Schakowsky of Illinois for her 5 minutes of questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Mr. O'Donnell, for being here today. I believe that the school bus program is really a crucial way to make our community safer and our children safer. And I represent a district in Illinois which has happily embraced the program. Illinois school districts that applied in the first round of rebates now have 120 clean school buses that are out there. I know that in the Chicago area that I represent, there are 14 school districts in the Chicago area, so obviously they're also from around different parts of the states. And meantime, we have 69 school districts in Illinois that are on waiting lists, so I know that many are going to want to participate in this. We've heard from some bus drivers who say that they find that on the bus now things are quieter, that students seem to have a more calm environment. But we also hear from the school districts who have found that it is easier for them to recruit and retain bus drivers when they are using these buses. And, you know, there is a shortage, I think you know, of trying to hire bus drivers, and this seems to be a real incentive. So I would say that the program is off, in our experience, to a good start with a good deal of enthusiasm from school districts, from bus drivers, and I'm certain that the children are benefiting from the cleaner air that they're able to experience. And as I said earlier, the community too, these buses drive up and down the streets of all of our neighborhoods, rural and urban, and definitely if we can reduce the pollution from those school buses, that would be a big plus. And I think that's part of the direction that we want to be going in. I have to tell you that I'm a little confused about the timing of this hearing. You are in the midst of an audit, as I understand it. You are doing investigations, which at this point I understand that you don't really want to share with us. So I'm not quite sure why we're having this, because I think all of us would agree that we want to make sure that this program is functioning well, that taxpayers are getting what they need, and that we are answering all the questions that need to be. So it's not that I don't agree that you do the audit and that you do the investigations. But what I wanted to ask you is if you would commit to taking into consideration all of the things, including some of the really positive things, like, are we able to address the shortage if we are using these buses? Would we be more inclined to get the staff that we need to make sure that our kids are getting to school? And would you commit to including all the positives as well in this research and audit?
One of the things that you learn in my job, as I have been in it for several years, is that it's rare that people are excited to see me. When I go to the EPA, it's just, I'm just not the most popular, you know, like the dinner guest. And I really emphasize the fact that, you know, the EPA has this goal of getting out these clean school buses and really having that health benefit that you talk about. And what we do more than anything else, we're not trying to, you know, we don't play gotcha. I tell this to the agency all the time. We're not trying to play gotcha. We're not trying to surprise you. we want to make sure that what you're doing actually happens. And so to speak to all the good things that you talked about, my investigators talk about it all the time. And we really put it in terms of environmental justice, but it goes beyond that. It's not about who the recipient is at the end of the day. It's not about those school districts. It's about the kids on the school bus in the neighborhoods. And we have to start early to make sure that those dollars get there. As I said, there's a 71-page waiting list. We've already heard a third of rebate applicants have asked to actually delay reimbursement. So that's $188 million, at least our preliminary numbers, that could have gone to school districts that are right now ready to go. And so it's really useful, I think, for us to get in now, in year 1, rather than year 5, to look at exactly the sort of things that you're speaking to.
Okay, so you would make a commitment to do a program-wide audit of all of the things positive as well as some of the problems. Thank you.
We're good news as well as bad news.
Great, thank you. I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back, and I just want to say we're always glad to see you here at this subcommittee. Now recognize the gentleman from Texas, Dr. Burgess, for his 5 minutes.